HamiltonRadio.net, what up? What's good? Say Q, Drew Smitty, Ron Committee, so unique is back, yeah. West Trent, yeah. Hip-hop lives through me, it came from the streets. Rhythm with a break beat, prove who can MC. Metaphors and techniques made you have to check me. My dialect connect peace, lyrics that are wet sheets. Spit it raw and sexy, shorty wanna F me. Swerving to the left beat, on the grind and stress free. Bust a shot of dead beef, hit him in the headpiece. Warned you not to test me, ice bars is Gretzky. Slide it in your wifey, all the women love me. A slight touch of grimy, slice of half a dime piece. Knuckle rapper 5-piece, high looking Chinese. Muay Thai IP, vivid on your screen, eyes wide like high beams, too low to find me, switching lanes like car thieves, star skiing, hush trees, roll up the best weed, fire water Hennessy, ginseng for energy, holla mommy Ben Aki, he play hits, HamiltonRadio.net station, the Monk Show, I'm tuned in, he play hits, HamiltonRadio.net station, the Monk Show, I'm tuned in, he play hits, HamiltonRadio.net station, the Monk Show, I'm tuned in, he play hits, HamiltonRadio.net station, the Monk Show, I'm tuned in.
All right, we live. All right, man, give me some vibe on my joint, man.
Test 1 2.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, you know what tonight's topic is? I don't know. Yeah, it's not in the description, but we're gonna talk about the Chambersburg joint, man. It was a time when you just couldn't be out there, and this is what we're gonna get into. We're just gonna jump into it. But first, what's up? You gotta introduce yourself.
I gotta introduce myself. This is Mala. Normally, most people know me as Lady Mala. I'm here with Monk, and tonight we're definitely going to take a look at Chambersburg. I got some interesting facts about Chambersburg before we actually get going. Can we give them that information?
I'm just talking. Yeah.
We're looking at this is 2020. And in 2017, we got to take it back a few years. Chambersburg was known as to be 22% safer than any other area in the Trenton area, which is really pretty interesting. But
maybe
22%.
That's what they was fighting for. They feel like, because also, they wasn't in Trenton like that neither.
Oh, no.
I remember telling you didn't see any Caucasian people walking the streets like that.
Oh, no.
Unless you was like a cop, PSENG, the mailman.
That's right.
You know, are you doing some type of business, work plumber or something like that?
Right.
Other than that, like in the hood, you ain't see none of that because cats was aggressive.
Yes, I was going to say there is fantastic fear.
You know, the 85, 86 and all that, Rakim and all that, people
right.
conscious.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Black power everywhere. You know what I mean?
It was a great time for us, indeed, but it may not have been such a great time for our other brothers and sisters because we were definitely adamant about promoting Black love, you know, on many levels. So Chambersburg had a really interesting vibe for people of color during the 70s into the 80s, because I remember I graduated in 1985 and it was still difficult. You know, I'm driving through Chambersburg.
Did you see like some of the fights and stuff? Did you get a chance to witness? Because it was hot and heavy back then. It's like, so you know, you go past St. Francis and I mean, people don't realize, and I be trying to just give a reminder, like, it ain't like you could just go down a couple blocks.
Right.
There was a time where you get past that Roman bank right there.
Yes.
Oh, it's you that far right there, man. I used to see it. And everybody knew it. It's got, you know, just like when Messiah was talking when he was here last time on the show. And he said, you know, you had to go through there fighting. Right. You know, you could go through there, but you got to be prepared to fight.
Well, we knew like that there was the unspoken rule that people of color had to be out of Chambersburg before the street lights came on, before it started to get dark. If you were in Chambersburg during that time, good luck to you. because that's just the way it was.
And that's the thing. Like, you can imagine the people that got killed that didn't get talked about.
Right.
That type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You don't know. You know. If somebody went missing, it could have been one of them instances.
Indeed.
Just because of the way a person in their life, they might smoke crack, they might do this, but who are we to judge? You know what I mean? People turn out to be things, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, we had to reflect on these things because it put value back in your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like out there where they be having what's that? The bars all night joint,
Mm-hmm.
Champions.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't be out there. You couldn't be out there.
No, that was not a
And I
place
like
where
what
we
they
could
did
freely
with it.
go.
I like what they did with it, with the venue and everything. You know what I mean? And it is live. It brought more business to that spot. But there was a time you couldn't even be that far. That was like, you get down that far, man, you crazy.
Right.
See, a lot of us that's my age, we don't know about them streets back then. We weren't messing with none of that.
Well, I know for me, it was well understood. So I was quickly moving through Chambersburg.
So you
a lot
weren't
of
walking?
times. No, I was driving. I was
Yeah,
driving.
you were,
I was blessed to be able to. My mother believed in giving cars for graduation.
How old was you?
I was driving when I was 17.
Here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And I remember.
You just didn't have another situation you had to walk to Chambersburg.
I did not have to walk through. I did not do a whole lot of walking. Definitely not through Chambersburg. I walked through spots in Trenton
but you knew
now.
About it, though.
Oh yeah, I knew about it. So there was no way that I was
hope
walking
that car
through.
Don't break down.
No, it was good, but that's the reality of what it was. Now, like I said, I graduated 85. We can go back to 84, 83, 1983, 1984,
Yep.
and during those times, we knew it was no joke.
Yep.
And you just did not have yourself in that area after a certain time, and everyone understood that. Everyone knew that. It was unspoken, but it was clear.
Yeah. Well, whoever's supposed to be watching, man, y'all call in. Y'all can give y'all thoughts. Hey, Rube, that's what it. Put the number on the screen.
Yes, you can call in.
That's what I forgot
if
to
you
tell
can.
Put the number on the screen, man.
Yes, if you can
And we
spend
gonna
the
be taking
time, if you
calls in.
have, remembrances of, that time period in Chambersburg where people of color were not welcomed. You can call into the station 609-807-2492. Again, that's 609-807-2492. We have many histories and memories in the city of Trenton. This is just one of them. And some of them are definitely much more positive. When we stuck together, I still remember the Heritage Weeks that were downtown, and we go down there and enjoy, great cultural food and spend time really getting to know each other. We don't even do those anymore. Yes, oh
That
yes.
was the joint.
We were just talking about that because there was one right off of Olden Avenue before you got to like Hetzel's Pool. And I remember going to that one and spending time enjoying, the different ethnicity that were represented. Yes, the artwork was fantastic. The sculpture, the wooden sculptures were beautiful. We had a lot of culture. Yes, we had a lot of culture. But here again, we had some negatives that were definite stints for us.
See, but the thing is, in certain areas it's still like that. Like how Chambersburg is, they just went farther out.
Mm-hmm.
You better watch it. This is Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to Jersey, and we're going to talk about it now, a lot of this is uncomfortable for certain people. Some people don't want to go there and have those conversations about, how it still is in certain ways.
Right.
And in order for that element to be gone, something got to give.
We don't want to believe that these things are still going on.
Yeah,
Here we are in
because
2020.
It affect everything. It affect everything. It affect your money, your
Right.
soul,
Yes.
everything. And
Yes.
they're putting it in the movies.
Mhm.
Did you see Irishman? You see Irishman yet?
No, I haven't seen Irishman.
You got to watch Irishman.
Really?
Irishman is basically telling you what type of man. These are Jersey cats, the mob, the whole thing. That's how they running it. Like Hitman is straight out there. Bow right there. You done fucked up. You done fucked up. Niggas gonna run down on you.
Oh, see.
They, you know, that's what they see, all that Sopranos and all that type of stuff.
Right.
Boardwalk Empire.
Yes.
That's Jersey.
Yeah, but that's real. I mean, that was real. We looked at it. Remember, we used to enjoy watching the series. What was the series that really spotlighted, I think, Jersey in a lot of what we endured? You know, Italian Mob, many things like that.
A lot of them lived out Chambersburg.
Yes.
And they just wasn't having it. Because that's the main reason, you know, why the muscle. They had different groups and gangs out there, but the main ones was the pit bulls and the unknowns. They probably had a few others, but them are the main ones you heard about and seen when that's the ones coming out with the sticks and bats and all that type of stuff.
Right.
And start throwing shit at you and start chasing you.
Right. When you look at Chambersburg today, there's a wonderful melting pot happening. I see a lot of our Latino brothers and sisters have moved in. I don't see a lot of us yet. I really don't.
The thing is, that's because they started renting to the Latin community.
Right.
So they sublease and then eventually sell it to, and then, you know, a couple of them, but not much.
Yes.
Because those properties back there, they really about that. They like, you know, fucking nigga, they still like that. In a certain way, they didn't want
unfortunately, and you know, but here's the real talk to it, because like I said, here we are in 2020, and if we look at the representation, which most people in society do today, they look at what is represented in our media, and they use that as real life, and really, that's not indicative of real life. We still have a lot of separate areas, a lot of separatism. And until we can get to the reality of those things in truth, we won't move forward. We'll still be, you know, looking forward, actually walking backwards.
I'm gonna tie this all in too with, you know, you got the book, The Criminal Target.
Yes.
And you might as well promote that. We're gonna tie that all in. Yes. And, you know, with the whole Chambersburg thing, like, you might have rolled through, but you had to, you know, how did you know, like, how was it an experience, or did a parent or an aunt or uncle or somebody say, look, if you mess around up in there?
Yeah, there were actual conversations we had to have. You know, if you were smart, you had those conversations.
Your mom and dad?
Yes, mother, sisters, my brother when he, you know, was around. I had cousins, you know, I spent a lot of time, shout out to Lawrence. He was one of, I think, walking dictionaries. And he shared information that allowed me to have the foreknowledge, right? But I was always a reader. And it didn't matter what it was, whether it was a book, or if it was the newspaper, if it was a magazine, I was a constant reader. So even that information was made known to me based on a lot of the things that I began to read.
See, nowadays, it's future. Like the same, the way the segregation was, like we were saying, how the neighborhood was more peaceful for them.
Yes.
And, you know, for us, I can attest to that too, because I had some good times. I had some good times in Trenton, so I know that it had different sides. We just, you know, had to go through that phase. But there was a big thing about pride.
Yes.
And it was a line.
Yes,
that was drawn.
indeed.
That line was, and it was a definitive line.
Yes.
Like, you crossed that line.
Yes.
On.
If you're awake with us tonight, we'd love to hear your memories of living in the city of Trenton and the wonderful Chambersburg area. We knew as people of color what we could and could not do. 609-807-2492. Call in. Let us know what you remember. What did you experience? Because we all have different experiences. Mine weren't negative, but I did not stay in the area.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody probably wasn't negative like that, because, like, I got a family member. She was like, you know, she went to school there, but I'm considering she was younger. You was going to school.
Right.
You know, you might not, you know, they ain't messing with the kids, but I'm talking about, like, black dudes.
Yes.
And maybe, you know, maybe some women went through stuff, but you don't really hear about that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But when it came to the black man, you out that month. Because it's either you working for somebody,
right,
or you doing something. just laundering or like you own a property or you got a house out there. Ain't none of that. I'm just talking about all of it.
Monk, there's a couple
it's like
things.
it might be somebody. It might be somebody. You know, we might meet somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
There's a couple things that are really interesting about I think what our African American men had to go through. One of the difficulties I think was the very fear of our Italian brothers and sisters that we would intermingle our cultures, and there was great.
You know, do you have any friends that married anybody from back there?
Oh,
like
yeah.
even.
Yeah.
You know, because you got a lot of different relationships.
Yes.
And that was probably born out of that just because of that line.
Right.
Like, oh, we can't date each other, but they just happen to follow you because of that.
Yeah, but guess what? Yeah, exactly.
The danger and all that type of stuff.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I post this in this group, like I was saying earlier, when they remembered Trenton. It's a group where they post old pictures about, you know, Trenton, how it looked, and they post pictures of the old stores, Corvettes, and when McDonald's was downtown, all that type of stuff, and people will start talking about it. So one guy posted that, you know, he seen it as a different place, but I looked at his profile. He's like, man, you look, you know, you got the complexion for the protection. You look like you were supposed to be back there. You know, so you might not have even known. The complexion for the protection. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So you might not have, because you look like you're supposed to be back there.
Right.
And now you see just people just chilling. But there are instant cases where, a couple years ago, that I heard there's a girl spread nigger on the neighborhood porch. This is on Lambert Street.
Right.
Now, I don't know if these people still stay there at this address, but you know, you still have those old tensions, and that's the thing.
Yes.
Knowing how really intense it was, you have people that still in you, because for the people that's chilling, they don't know, they might got in trouble, got locked up for that. Might have been somebody moved in, you outside waiting in the car, not knowing that the neighbor hate niggas.
Right.
Hate niggas.
Yeah.
Like, sit down here with your nice car. See if you got any warrants.
Well, remember, you know, here we are. We're in an advanced time where it appears as though we all have progressed forward, and truthfully, it's a fallacy. It's not real. We project a projection that isn't clear. So we think we've moved forward.
We think you move forward because you only think of that amongst yourself. Because we're not in these people's household to tell what they're thinking. We only see their representative when they come out.
Yes, that's
when they
correct.
want to make the statements and stuff.
Right.
But we see the actions ain't really changing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And when we talk about these laws getting passed and everything, like they just, you know, they just went to the protest about the vaccines and all that.
Yes. We just had shows
you
on
know
that.
what I mean? So I'm like this. I don't want to get too much off subject because it's like I'm gonna tie this all in because it's a force.
Right.
Here, this is the Goodfellas state, so to say. This is the Goodfellas state, and it's gonna be because the laws are different from the rest of the United States and everything. You know, luckily that they changed some of the laws, but it has progressed.
Yes.
But some of those buildings back there, you can't get because you ain't one of them.
Right. That is true.
It ain't happening.
That is true.
You can't get, even if it is abandoned, they'll let it sit there, it ain't for you.
Right.
But they gonna fight for it. You can't even be up there no squatting nothing.
They're interesting. I'm looking at percentages of crimes in the area. We ranged it, I think, about 2017. And amazingly enough, if we look at it, and this is not advertised, but what we can see here is that Chambersburg rules the crime for what is counted. We have some things that are not tabulated.
Pull that up. What is that right there?
This is I'm sorry, but yeah, you see it.
That's right.
Yeah, you see it.
You were pulled up the numbers. That's what I'm talking about.
That's important. In the city of Trenton, come on now.
And that's right now.
Yes, we expect for the city of Trenton to be terrible because we see a lot of the news about what's going on in Trenton, and oh my God, it must be so bad. But if I take a look at,
because you know what, we gotta get one day we gonna get a scanner and play some of the shit that you hear on the CB, because everything ain't hitting the paper.
Right.
You would be it'll blow your mind. You be like, what? And it ain't even go to the paper and I can see they probably want to keep a hush, and then they understand.
Right.
There's not enough of them.
Right.
And the shit be going down.
Yes, in many areas.
So what's the numbers that they got right now?
If you take a look at the total crime for Chambersburg, and we're looking at per 100,000 people, the total crime for Chambersburg was 5,626, where in the city of Trenton, in the city of Trenton,
I see that.
you see that? 4,107
yeah, right
for
now.
the entire state of New Jersey.
So you know what? That go back to what we saying. That it.
Nah, news doesn't get reported.
Besides whatever going on, besides like the racism part,
Yes.
it could be over other things too.
Right.
But when I lived out there and had, I lived on South Broad Street, so that just going to the store and the cops patrol different out there. It was like convoys. They don't do that in Trenton unless it's bad.
Right.
You see paddy wagon here and there, or if they come and get you, they coming. But out there is regular, after a certain time of night, convoy.
Right.
They come in 12 deep.
Yes. They're moving the crowd. They're moving the people. And that was the understood way of dealing with a very serious prejudice. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah, man.
Let's just call it what it is.
A cop threw a 12 gauge to my head, and it didn't look like a police issued 12 gauge.
It didn't look like that.
No, I didn't. But this, and then we was knocking on the wrong door. I'm sitting in the car.
Right.
And he had choice words. I can say it how I want to say it, but it's like pretty much, nigga, get your ass up out of here.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a little bit more vile than that. He had extra words, but what you gonna do with a gun in your head?
You gonna move.
So those are, one of the experience that, like, one of the first ones we had a gun to your head. That made me feel like, damn, if I'd have moved a certain way, he'd have blew my head off, man. Just because we went and knocked on the wrong door, even though we still went out there and we were going to, but it's like, and that wasn't that long ago.
Right.
Those type of things still happen with the police, man.
Definitely, yes.
Because these are families that still work on the force, been working on the force for a long time.
Right.
And
That's
people,
correct.
because when we do this type of shit, somebody be like, well, what you talking about? Because somebody gonna watch this after this, because a couple people want to ask me, rest in peace to my cousin Reese.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot of people at the funeral,
Yes.
and we talked about this subject, you know what I mean? And my man Jamar, I want to hear from you, even if you put something in the comments, because he did have something he wanted to share with us.
Okay.
And there was a couple other people too. It gave a little bit of momentum.
Right.
So it's like, and I don't think it's because we started late. It's just because it's Friday night.
Yes, it is.
It's a 2-hour show.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I gotta check the comments.
And this was the thing
You
that
gotta check the
okay.
comments, and you gotta share it to your page too.
This would, I don't know if I've done that yet, but this is what makes everything
I need to put
most
the, phone number
important.
in.
If we can get the information out, if we can begin to share, if we can begin to combine, we have chairs for audience, and I'd love to see people of color right along with some of our Italian brothers and sisters. We have to have open dialogue. This is the way things move. This is the way we actually get some things done. I don't know if I've done that yet, but this is what makes everything most important. If we can get the information out, if we can begin to share, if we can begin to combine, we have chairs for audience, and I'd love to see people of color right along with some of our Italian brothers and sisters. Right. We have to have open dialogue. This is the way things.
Okay, we still live.
Yeah,
You listen to the replay.
Yes, I'm listening to it.
Oh shit, we still live. Oh, I had to go put the number on the screen.
Yes.
Because people want to call in and stuff. Because I had to make sure my man hear me and everything. You know what I mean? Now, that's the number right there. Call that number if you got something to say.
Yes.
You want to talk about that time. You know what I mean? That's what it is tonight. I'm gonna try to keep it on that, but we might go to other things too.
Yes.
Because it's universal. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I don't want to just hold it to one thing. It was just a thought. you know, to make of awareness, you know, of a time where so many people are, you know, are thriving in these areas, but they don't know the history, and that, you know, they still got to tread softly because they're going through pitfalls. Like, yo,
Indeed,
you do need to know where you live at.
Yes.
You know, just because you rent someplace, you know, you need to know the neighbors. You need to know what the hell going on, neighborhood watch and all of that, because they could be having a neighborhood watch meeting about you.
Exactly.
You thinking that ain't nobody watching you, you doing what you want to do. And,
right.
You know what I mean? Especially to the hustlers, man. Gotta get wiser, man. When you move to these places, you know, you get something lavish anywhere you move at, but you gotta realize the society is still not used to a black man having nothing. You know what I'm saying?
True. Very true.
With people of color, you know what I'm saying? It is based on that. But we know people got money. We know that now.
Right.
But see, it's how it's being portrayed in the media, you know, or you gotta be a pimp. You got to be a killer. You can't just be a smart person and a scholar or something.
I know that that's not true. And I also do recognize that we have many cultures that come into the black community because that is where the money is.
I'm talking about what I'm speaking on is how we being betrayed on the brick in the movies and all of that. You got to, like, they play the superheroes and stuff, but it's still like you see other things. Like I was watching this feed. Then we're going to start doing like movie reviews. I was watching this show called Feed. And I noticed it's about the people hooked up into the internet in their minds. They got it probably on the chip. But they had the black man as the enemy to his own woman because they programmed him to go against his woman, and the white dude come knock him out and they throw him in the bathtub and he beats on him and beats on him and beats on him. And I kind of like, you know, okay.
Right.
The idea of some futuristic shit like this, man is programmed to go against his woman, because you gotta look deep into this stuff.
But they're not going to project positive messages about men and women of color in love or working together or anything like that. It would go against the very fabric.
There's a lot of stuff I didn't realize. Like there was a Ren and Stimpy cartoon where he had the saw tied to him, and his man had the piece of wood on his back, and he was like humping it. That's what it looked like. But when we were kids, my man played that Crank Up New Jersey or something like that, Crank Up Trenton. I gotta get up with dude. I think that's one of my peoples. But the post is like different stuff that put you on to things that make you think like, what the hell? That's why I like to talk about those things that you don't, you know.
Right.
I'm sure other people, you know, because this is like a time where they had Rise of Trenton High. We talk about the Chambersburg thing, and why there was so much money out there. You had the steel mills and all that. They were securing them jobs. They were coming in there, busting up on them jobs.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was a powerhouse and all of that. And Trenton had like a bar. We had a lot of bars. It was all over the place.
Yes, indeed.
A lot of things to do.
Many open.
Fun.
Yes.
But at the same time, I guess they felt like the crime thing started outweighing that. But the influence is coming from people who have all the money. The impoverished people don't got no money, so where it's coming from?
Right, true.
You know what I'm saying? Now
true.
you just did the numbers right there. So
yes.
It's like the same thing going on.
Yes.
It's a different game being played, but it's the same thing. I guess that maybe I was just meant to bring it up. Because to make you aware that, yo, you gotta watch where you living at, man.
Even today, yes.
And then another thing, being out here, us having this station out here for so long, you see how things are. And this is the deep thing, like, just to be out here with a business is like, I'm the only one out here. There's some historical shit just to do this.
Indeed, yes it is.
Just to be like, and people will look at that on the granted, like, you know, and okay, let's talk about it. How did it get that way? Why is not so many other people welcome out here?
Right.
And I do see myself having to move. I don't, like, I might walk to the liquor store or something like that, but I keep that shit at a minimal, you know, because you know, cops, people, and then the residents. And it is like, you know, you got some criminals out here too. This is the highest place for heroin deaths right now, third in the state.
Right.
No, third in the country, number one in the state. So what the hell is going on?
But you're not going to hear those kinds of things. Those are the things that are kept very hush-hush. Like I said, if it's not portrayed in the city, in the capital city, you're really not going to hear it. You're going to hear the negatives of the capital city, where the surrounding boroughs are not going to get that kind of spotlight.
Hey yo, think about the people who got beat and robbed, bust upside their head,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't have no family to call. They
Right.
didn't have nobody that had their back like that.
Right.
But they might have survived it. And they old now. You know, they made, some of them might be our age, but they started before then. So you had certain people that could go through there.
I laugh because you said they might be our age.
Yeah, they might be our age, you know what I'm saying? Because
Yes.
now, because they, you see in examples, like when I say racism, I like to address it because it's such a fucked up thing.
Mm-hmm.
The skin color thing, and it's really classism too.
Mm-hmm.
A money thing, like, all right, you niggas ain't got no money. I remember that tattoo place right there,
Mm-hmm.
where Storky's at.
Okay.
What's that? Greenwood. No, that's Hamilton Avenue. Hamilton Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't like. There was a time where black people wasn't getting tattoos, yo. I'm
Right.
serious.
Right.
I didn't start seeing black people getting tattoos until Janet Jackson did that video with these tattoos.
I don't
We
speak
talk about
Brazilian, but
maybe
see if you can
95,
understand
96 or
me.
something.
That's interesting. But look what
wasn't popular
what
like
propelled
that.
that. Look what actually instigated
And
that
see
kind
that,
of move.
but see that thing. It's about the tattoo place right there.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have made so much money off of black people later on
Exactly.
that why they could have been getting you right then and there, like,
True.
and then the place burned down. Just
Well,
right there. So
right.
I'm like, he probably just did a little insurance scam thing.
Possibly. Very possible.
I ain't say I don't know. That's what it looked like. I'm entitled to my opinion.
Right.
I'm just saying though.
But the main thing that you do bring up that is extremely important is the fact that we go back to the reality that even though there's much portrayal that the African American community does not have money, that is far from the truth.
Right,
It's what we're doing with the money we have that is most important. And because we spend a lot of our money very frivolously, I got to be honest. I don't know if we're taught, because I remember reading someone saying, why isn't there taught financial literacy classes in high school?
It's like the home has to do that. It's up to your parents. Like, it's cool that you say that because it make me think about, like, it's gonna come. All right, my man is on. All right, Jamal. Let me see. Let me write to him. Call in.
Okay.
He's
While
on.
we're waiting for our guests to come in and call in, have something to say about this Chambersburg discussion. Once again, we're looking at this from a complete circumspect idea that, here is something else that hampers progress. And even though it looks like we're progressing, we look at, like I said, media has a tendency, people have a tendency to believe what they see in media. We are media representatives, but how long would it take for someone to say, you know what, they vibe together, they're intellectual, they have some deep conversation, maybe black folk really aren't as ignorant as media portrays.
We know it's not true,
right?
But it's like, did you see what the white guy was talking about, the Black Panther? He don't like the way, I forgot the guy's name, but he doesn't like the way it makes black kids feel, because he feels like, oh, Africa is such a shithole place. Why should you feel? But actually, the place is beautiful.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like that type of racism, that hate.
Indeed.
Is still there, and we tend to feel, a lot of us try to act like it ain't there.
Right.
That's the point.
Right.
You try to be dumb, deaf, and blind about it like it ain't in your face. And you know what I'm saying? Like, how long you gonna take, man? It's 2020 now. Like I'm saying, like, even I don't want to be in the neighborhood that's gonna have me like how that was back then in them days in the Burg.
Right. If
Or
you
any
cannot welcome me,
like
if I can't feel
Bensonhurst,
welcomed.
But you gotta watch out for certain places, man.
Right. Yes.
Like, places like Hillsborough, Manville, Tuckerton. Look. They did a road check today on Olden.
Yes, I came past that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and I was trying to figure out, like, what
when
is he
they
doing?
do that to me, that's like Gestapo shit.
Right.
That's
right.
some Germans just go like it's blatant entrapment. No, we're gonna stop you right here and make sure. But that could be a filtering process. Something's gonna happen. No, we're gonna stop everybody. You don't know what's going on.
But don't get it twisted now. As a person of color, when I see that from afar and I'm approaching it, okay, I get a little more tense.
You never know.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
never know.
Right.
And then with this situation, with you with the book,
Yes.
see, it's I mean, like, you gotta become like a mental superhero to deal with things. You always
In
gotta
so
be
many
aware
ways.
of your surroundings at
Yes.
all times,
Yes.
and you always gotta watch how you moving.
Right.
As soon as you get on the highway, because you always gotta watch out for anybody else's mistakes.
Right.
They might not be paying attention, swerving. You gotta be proactive, like, ah!
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, it's a thing when people do not pay, so now they issue heavier fines for that. You know what I'm saying?
You mean for reckless driving? We call it.
No, they catch you with your phone.
Right. Yes.
They
Oh
catch
yes.
you with that phone.
Yes.
Because them phones is causing a lot of haters. I've seen some
Yes.
stuff before, like real life, like and just being on the highway and seeing people lollygagging. I mean, if you got a Tesla, that's cool. But if you ain't got no Tesla, man, I've seen people driving with their leg, feet, and fuck up, and you be all nervous.
That's nonsense. That's nonsense. Can I be transparent? I received my first cell phone ticket probably about 3 or 4 months ago. And I was on a business call. Seriously. Yes, I was but let me tell you, I was on a business call driving down, and I passed the officer. I did not pay that man any mind. I'm trying to have this business call. This business call was vital. I'm driving through, and he got offended because he pulls up next to me at the light. I put the phone down, but then when the light changed to green, I picked up the phone and continued to cross the light.
Word.
And he pulled me over, and it was obvious he was offended. He said, you passed right by me, and you kept talking on the phone. And all I could say was, officer, I apologize. You're absolutely right. I said, I've never done this before. I said, but I'm sorry. I was on a business call. I accept, whatever I have to accept at this time, because you're absolutely right.
How much was the ticket?
Man, that ticket hit me hard. It was $260 for a first offense. Never before. Yes, and I was just like, what? And you don't have to worry about that. Won't happen again.
It goes
yes,
up and then,
for every
the point where
continual.
They take your joint for 6 years.
Yes, and I was just like, no, you don't have to worry about this. This will not happen again. But on my mind, I thought about it because that situation could have been different. This was indeed a white officer. I'm indeed in a white, suburban area, and it could have panned out so differently as we take a look at a lot of the situation. Yes. And this is what I mean when I saw the officer today on Olden Avenue, and I'm going forward, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to function in fear, but there's a reality.
I think it's like depending on what time of day you driving in those areas too. Like, if you're going with the flow of traffic, you'd be pretty good because it's other things to focus on. It's that time, late night or early morning, or things, where you could be singled out, or you the only one to ride around. Okay, who is this?
Right.
Because when those are neighborhood cops. When you get in them neighborhoods like that, the community is actively talking to them. They're at the school.
Right.
They're doing the little different functions. They're fundraisers and stuff. They all know each other because they community neighborhoods. Because you don't hear them beefing with the police like that. You just hear that in certain areas. Other people are getting along. But at the same time, when you go amongst their neighborhood, they want to know who you are. If you buy property, riding through.
Right.
And the cop, of course, he need to get his quota up.
Yeah.
And
we do. You have to realize that is very true too. At the end of the month and the very beginning of the month is a time that tickets will definitely fly, and so you have to understand at that time you better pay a whole lot more attention, because it is a reality that every police officer has a quota that they must fill, and that's when they're going to do it most. But how about this one? We're waiting, but did you know that the Supreme Court just passed a ruling? That officers, you ready?
He said just try to call in. Hey, Rube, you catch that call? All right, let's say, go ahead, call back, man.
Do you know that the Supreme Court just passed a ruling that says that officers have the right to shoot first and ask questions later, if they ask questions at all?
Now, you gotta. This is a bill they passed, right? We gotta look that up too. We gotta look at that up and examine that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because that right there is what I'm really getting to. We talk about the Chambersburg thing.
Yes.
How it used to be for black folks. I remember at the time, like more than one, than the instance that happened to me. There's many other experiences right through there. Then having the roller rink. The roller rink used to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we go out there, but after that over, there were a lot of stories that I heard about, the walk home.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get through them areas, and
Right.
they had some knockdown, drag out fights, man.
Yes, right.
So, my man Jamal Sanders, man, we wait for you to call back in. Is that phone ringing yet, man?
It should come in, but
Okay.
I just think about it in the danger of it all, because we have a lot more people that are becoming a lot more familiar about what their rights are, how things are to be done, and can become very vocal in the idea that I don't have to show you my ID.
Right,
Why are
right.
you stopping me? Well,
Yeah.
you got to understand that now with this Supreme Court ruling, you don't have to show ID.
It's getting
and
real to another level.
Yes,
it's getting
indeed,
real. Like
indeed.
people didn't think that the
He or
government
she.
was going to start coming down on the things that you thought was conspiracy theories.
Yes.
Now it's weighing on in people's lives, and then you see what's going on with the Trump thing and the wars, like all of this.
Yes.
And about the impeachment. Now this going on. He could
Right.
just wild out right now.
Indeed.
And,
indeed.
and that'll set up a whole bunch of other things, because even that thing with Iran, we don't know what's going to happen. We just
Right.
see what's going on.
You ready?
All right. Hey,
Peace.
what's up, man? Peace. What's good, man?
Hello, you're on the Monk Show. How are you?
I appreciate it. How y'all doing?
All right.
Hey, man, we talk about the whole Chambersburg thing, but I remember we were talking, man. I want you to share an experience and let people know, man, like how rough it was, during them times in the late 80s
Yes.
until the early 90s, because I got to Trenton High in 1990. And, I seen the difference, because Trenton High was like Eastside High then.
Mm.
You know what I mean? For
I've
the
heard.
movie. You know what I mean? It was
You're
really
right.
wild.
Lead
Yes,
on
sir.
me.
But you didn't cross that line. You just didn't. I don't care what nobody say. Sometimes I try to remind people how it was so they know where they at.
Mm-hmm.
Cause,
No doubt.
Yeah, because some people still live back there, and it's like you might think you chilling. Like I said, I was talking earlier, that you might just park your car waiting for somebody,
Right.
and one of the neighbors or somebody be like, "Look, well, we're gonna make a play on this guy."
Right. Right.
You're right. You're right, man. For me, well, first I want to say peace to both of y'all. Thank y'all for taking my call, man.
Thank you.
What y'all doing is really helpful for people that need to know, younger people that need to know what was going on.
Yes,
But
indeed.
for me, in I think it was '92, actually, man, I just went out to Chambersburg to play ball.
Mm-hmm.
You still there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We just went out there to play ball. It was like three of us, man, and it was a whole bunch of people. It was only like two people at the court at the time, and then once they found out that it was a few black folks in the area,
Right.
all of a sudden it was 20 people that
Wow.
came to the court. Now at that
Right.
time, I was naive to the fact that
Yeah.
what was about to go down was about to go down.
Mhm.
So
Wow.
I could kind of smell a little bit of liquor on one of the guys' breath.
Mm-hmm.
And so their excuse was, they stopped us from playing ball, and their excuse was that some other black people had came through Chambersburg and jumped some of their boys.
So that just was random.
Right, it was random. So once I smelled the alcohol, I was like, all right, this ain't good. But by
Right.
that time, they had grabbed two of the people that I was with already.
Mm-hmm.
And grabbed them up, and it was like I said, it was like 15 to 20 of them.
Right.
And I'm looking around, and I'm like, man, I know some of you cats, because I went to McCorston. I didn't go to Trenton.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So I went to McCorston, so it was a lot of
I'm gonna hold my response
Italian
to
cats
that.
there that I wind up seeing
Uh-huh.
out there. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
And they jumped us pretty bad, man. So
Yeah.
if
So you had to
if
make
you
it about
notice,
it then.
Yeah. How
Yeah,
did
it was
you
like
get out? How
20
did you
to
get
3.
out?
20 to 3.
20 to 3.
Oh,
How did you
20
how
to
did you
3.
get out and get away from the mob of 20?
It was actually, listen, I'm gonna say it was by the grace of God, because they had knocked my cousin out, and then we start fighting, trying to fight all of them,
Right.
and then they wind up one of them wind up coming in the back of me and kicking me in the head and knocked me out too.
Wow.
and then after a while, you know, I guess they just stopped, and I came to, and we kind of was able to like walk off, which was crazy. So
Wow.
I'm just like, you know, and so that experience was crazy. And even after that, man, you know, just knowing that some of these cats was trying to really play who their parents were.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Because it was
You know
a
what I mean?
mob thing. They was trying to be hard like that. They coming out with them sticks and bats, and they had this certain type of pride where we not fucking with you. You can't come in here and do nothing. And I remember that type of this, you know, going, you know, to ride through with grandma or whatever, or whoever I was with, because you had to be with somebody in stature just to get out the car.
Right.
They had to be
Yeah.
the peoples. You couldn't just be no regular, like how you see a crackhead or just anybody regular walking through there, whether they going to work. You ain't no going to work. You ain't walking through there going to nobody work.
Right.
Right.
They taking
Right.
all the jobs. You ain't getting no jobs.
Now, what's crazy, man? I'm gonna say this, like, for the majority of it, what we talking about is so true. But then you have some of those people that actually found a way to like black people,
Yeah, that's true. That's
and
right,
because when I listen to my dad tells a story. And he came up obviously in the 60s and in the 70s, and some of those people that allowed them to work for them, they actually took to them.
right.
Like, it's almost like they could see the issue, but they also had people that took to some black people as well.
Right.
And the example that I use is like the movie Do the Right Thing.
Yes.
When Spike took my man in the back and he said, "Listen, man, you calling everybody a nigger? Excuse that terminology, but you calling everybody that."
Yeah, you can
but
speak freely
he asked
here,
him,
man. You can speak freely here, man.
Yeah, he said, you know, who's your favorite baseball player? Who's your favorite
Right.
basketball player? And
Right.
the guy was like, well, they not niggers. You know what I'm saying? They
Listen
just
to that.
black folks, and so they're able to compartmentalize who they want to like.
Right.
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 And who they don't want to like.
Yeah.
They can say, you know what, don't mess with Will, don't mess with Jamar, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like
Right.
him. He's
Yeah.
not a nigger.
Right.
He is different.
And see, the thing is, they'll send people after you. Like, you get shot up. You mess with the
Yes,
wrong
sir.
cat. You know what I'm saying? They send a squad
Yes.
after you, or some old man show up and pop you. You know,
Yep.
I was referring to the Irishman. You seen that yet?
Yes, sir.
Listen, that was Chambersburg. All that whole scene, how that was set
absolutely.
up, like, you know what I mean? That's you know why we wouldn't back there like that, because they back there on their gangster thing. We trying to
sir.
get in. We trying to get in. Now we back there now. And do you know she just looked up the stats, and it's
Yes.
still the most wild out place in Trenton. We think
Yes.
it's all the other parts of town. No,
No.
it's Chambersburg.
Chambersburg
Right
had
now,
the
Really?
highest percentages.
Really?
Yes. And you would never know that because they're not going to, make that public.
Right.
They're not going to
Wow.
advertise that, but it's public knowledge. All of
Right.
this information is public knowledge.
Or nobody's
So-
talking
Wow.
about it.
Right.
See, that's why I like to talk about different stuff.
Yes.
And then, we come from a different era. Yes, we did have our best times in Trenton, but it was still that.
Mm-hmm.
And that reminds you of, sometimes you got to bring up the date, because that racism thing has become a thing to where I got some good friends, but the thing was like in the air when it comes to your freedoms. And do you know that there is an executive order that deputizes all white people? Look it up.
Wow. There's what now? Repeat that again.
Deputizes. Look it up. I had talked about it before. I just forgot the executive order number. I had to go back to it, but that's because I talked about that before. And I'm like, you better make sure your white friends is your white friends, because
Right.
they already on power, automatic. You gotta make they go take. Not that you got a coon or play a suck up or nothing like that, but law-wise. But then slavery was legal too, and I feel like
Yes, sir.
there's this attempt to try to get people back from thinking like that, but we are advanced too much. It's a war. Now you see this, all the apprehension with the police and all that, and that tension's still in town on top of the other gangster shit that go on.
Right.
You know what
Yes,
I'm
sir.
saying? That's still there. Even the cops that ride in the cars with some of these cops, they ain't all together like that.
No.
You know what I'm
No, you're
saying?
right.
We got some real
You're right.
training day shit going on where we live at.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like and it's stemming back from them type of times because people growing up, you know, you might become a cop, you don't understand, like they sticking together.
Mm-hmm.
They might chill with you for a while, but when it's come in question, they're
Right.
gonna be loyal to their people before they be loyal to you because their
Right.
people put them on. They don't live the
Yep.
type lifestyle we live. It's a family oriented thing and loyalty is everything.
Right.
And they kill 'em for that.
Well,
Like you
listen, and
see
we have to, what we think about here is how we are raised, and there is a mentality, there's beliefs that we're still dealing with, and regardless, this is 2020, but we might as well be in 1920. You know, understand because
Yeah.
the way that people have been raised has been passed down from generation to generation, so we
Yes.
still have residual negative ideas.
Yeah, I mean, but
Absolutely.
see, I was talking earlier, like out here, I'm the only black business owner out here that I see.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
but like you know, even a part. I got two other partners, but still, you don't see that, and you don't hear about it. And I'm like,
Right.
why? Why is it just me? Because
Right.
the area is one of those areas where you making too much noise, you gonna get checked because they want to know
Yes.
what's going on. So
Yes.
our thing was to do fundraisers and stuff like that. And we've been out
Okay.
here for a while, but that element is still there because
Indeed.
my first few weeks of having a studio out here, and we've been out here for years now. It's been probably about 6 years in this area, and
Mm-hmm.
but they pulled me and Rube over like 7 times in that whole week, man, trying to
Wow.
find out who I was.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That I'm in the passenger
Yes.
seat. That's why she gotta make sure you're doing right and all of that. It depends on how you move, but still,
Right.
that element still there because
Indeed.
if you're not used to seeing a person face, they have a tight knit community. They know who's what. When you got a business, some people go to the whole measure that they send the police everything,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
kids and all that stuff. Especially if they have these different alarm systems and stuff like that. See, it's like
Yep.
we gotta get with and they'll know what employee, like a case of a robbery, they know who's responsible for what. They
Right.
had this, a lot of them have like pre-information like that this is one of them places
Yes.
because people
Yes.
petition for what they want out here. Like we got PJ's
Yes, sir.
Pancake House. PJ's Pancake House was pretty much petition for the neighborhood wanted that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they
Yes,
out here.
sir.
It's like, okay, we this a prime location. We got a certain amount of signatures saying that they want. The first day was open, they had to do no advertisement. The parking lot was filled and it stayed filled.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got
Right.
Papa's Timmy and the Pies. They don't got no advertisement. They ain't got no TV commercials, but people is every day.
Right.
The
Yep.
parking lot is filled.
Yep.
See, we need that kind
Yeah.
of
You.
commitment in our African American communities.
Right.
We need that same kind of solidarity among
Yeah,
us.
we working on that. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
No doubt.
You give an
No.
example. And we gotta hook up, man. Family, cousin. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
There's
Yes.
a lot of stuff going on too, man. Like positive stuff. We got a lot of shows here. I try to focus on that. We paying the bills and making sure everything is going to be everything.
Yes.
But
Yes, sir.
we building like a network, and it's so many people. Like far as the music, man, you can get your stuff out there, man.
Yes.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
Yes.
we right here. We number one, baby.
Yes.
We number
Yep.
one in New Jersey, man. Some cats got a problem with it. Look it up.
And that's yes, and
And-
that's
No
what
doubt.
makes
And
this
see,
really wonderful.
This-
Yes.
This why, man. I want to give a big shout out, rest in peace to my cousin Reese, man. We lost a
Yeah.
titan right there, man. I
Yes,
think
we
about
did.
that dude, man. I'm gonna miss that dude. What's up, cousin? What we
Yup.
doing? You know what I'm saying? Now
Yes, sir.
that memory right there made me want to go harder at things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know,
Yup.
you
Right.
feel you like, yo, we just gotta keep his spirit alive that type of way. And I
Yup.
feel like
We gotta.
and he was the one that hooked me up with a lot of family. Let me know that's your cousin. That's your cousin. Like on some real, like going back to my peoples and how it's connected and everything. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, oh yeah, that's the and I'm like, damn, he was one of the last,
Mhm.
one of the few that connected me. We got a big family, man. There's a bunch of us, and most
Yes,
of us
sir.
are already doing our thing. Maybe we
Right.
could unite. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people need that. Like we need that New York, Philly vibe where it's squads. Because our town
Yes.
is little,
Yes.
and we've been talking about this shit for years. And
Yeah.
you see it happen in certain instances because now you got the old with the young. The old
Right.
is, the young, they doing their thing. The old crowd, we want that boom bit. So it is that resistance because some cats just want straight trap music. And now there's the auto tune thing. Some cats is just recording with auto tune. If you ain't got it, they ain't spend no money in your studio.
Right.
You know what
Yep.
I'm
You
saying?
right.
Right.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
right.
Yes.
That's all they want. That's their style. And they have careers
Yes.
off of that. I see it. I ain't knocking it. It's whatever floats your grill to make it work, man. Because that's what it boiled down to, man.
Right.
Hey, like you gotta come
You know
through
what?
sometimes,
You know
man.
what's funny, man? Even some of that stuff is still, even in the industry, is systematically the way that they have it set up.
Right. Going
Even
but so
even
far.
some of the positive things, they'll make sure that that's not played,
Right.
Yeah.
and they'll make sure that that's not heard, and
Right.
and they'll push the things that keep our communities kind of looking downward. Man.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I
see,
mean?
it's payola, man. It's been that. People just don't realize that. Like, we come from even with the hip hop culture, the DJs had a time where they played what was hot, but whoever owned the radio station still had dominion over what was going to get played,
True.
regardless of who the DJ was.
Right.
They could have
Yes,
said,
sir.
"Man, it's Christmas time. We're not playing no no hood DJs and no black people. Period. We gonna
Right.
do this because these people might be paying them money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's
Right.
their station, so you got to spend that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or you just don't be
Yep.
working. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
we here,
Yes, sir.
we allow people to do what they want to do.
Yes.
They could come up and develop their own, thing. You know what I'm saying about how they want to do it, and then take it abroad.
Right.
But we
Right.
have a network already. Like, I mean, when I bring up like the stuff with Chambersburg, it's a lot of healing that come with that too, because you can see how people did get along as y'all brought up. It's like, it is the other side of things.
Right.
And, we got to be thankful for certain things, but it's still not the progress like we think it should.
Right.
We don't
Right.
want to be fooled like that, like it ain't still that, and it still is.
Yeah, there's a struggle still to overcome.
Yeah, 'cause
It's still there.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying, like that whole Chambersburg thing.
Mhm.
But we gonna keep it on that for a minute. That's why I'm glad you called in, because we can spend time putting emphasis on those experiences, man.
Right.
Other times,
Right.
because I was telling her earlier, man, when I went out there, my first bad experience with the police was they put a sawed-off shotgun to my head, man. The shit was a
Wow.
police issue, man. You know what I'm saying? And it was pretty much, nigga, get the fuck out of here. Like, and we was knocked on the wrong door. I'm sitting in the car. My man got out the car. They done hemmed him up. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Yeah.
like, any wrong move, it could have went down. It would have been,
Exactly,
brains all over the
exactly.
thing. And, they getting away with that. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
And that was one of the, I think that's one of the first times where it's like you didn't know what was going down. We still went out there and found our peoples, but that time where Trenton had this different taste on it. And if you was black, you stayed with your black people.
Right.
You was
Right.
white, you
Very,
stayed with
very
your white
segregated.
people.
Very
Very
segregated.
segregated.
Yes.
For a
Yes,
long
sir.
time.
Mhm.
So it was so long. It's like, how could you take a blind down to it today when we live in these areas? And it's not just Chambersburg. It's other parts of Jersey, other parts of the world.
Exactly.
We got a world that have this distaste for black people, and it's being thrown in our face on a daily basis, and you seeing it.
Yes.
Like
Yeah, man.
I be having to deal with people that's, they don't even realize how disrespectful they're being by saying certain stuff. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like, and you see it like when you out, like even when people say I got black friends and stuff like
Right.
that. You can't just have a black friend. He got
Right.
to be like your brother for you to understand him.
Right.
So I do got, white people that's like brothers to me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yep.
Because we have a bond. We went through things to understand each other.
Right.
It ain't like so
Mhm.
now you right about you now you're above the skin color thing. But you have so many people, it's off that from top rip. You being prejudged and everything, and they have financial power to affect you. That's the issue.
Yes.
Because when
Right.
you call a person a racist, you can't be racist if you don't have control over the other person's financial situation.
Come
You
Right.
on.
understand me?
Yes.
Because a real racist could control your financial situation by using the police against
That's really
you,
interesting, isn't it?
by or putting harm on you. Still got to go to the hospital for injuries.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, whether you fight, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you get locked up, bail money and all that.
Right.
And they'll
Right.
get right out because they got time for that shit.
Right.
They people's
Right.
like him. Yeah, we got 5,000 laying around just for you to be a knucklehead.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yes.
That type
Well,
of shit.
that comes from that also shows like how a lot of times, man, how racism and things, how they've hidden some things like, like Ku Klux Klan and all of those things,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
That stuff still exists, man. As
Oh,
we
yeah.
know, that stuff is just they not wearing white sheets. They wearing
Yeah.
some of them are wearing police police uniforms and judges
Right.
Yep.
and things of that sort. So it's more
Right.
hidden because they know we have risen up a little bit where they're not going to be able to come and wear no white sheets and do
Right.
what they used to do. So they said we'll get them
Now-
another way,
now-
and we'll
now,
go.
Jay, This the
We'll
problem.
go get educated, and we'll go get them
Right.
in
Now,
another
Jay,
form of fashion.
Think
You know
about
what I mean?
down
So
south. Think about down south right quick. Now, what you just said is, it's up here. We won't have it, but down south they having it. I got caught in the middle of a Klan rally, me and Nate the Great, yo, and that was a couple years ago. So the feeling was kind of like, damn, they out there with the right seats. And Atlanta got a lot of gangsters that live in it. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of niggas out there wilding out, they doing their thing. How is that still existing? Because it
Right.
lets you know you turn some of them back roads, you ain't coming up off that road.
That's right. That's
You
right.
That's
gotta
right.
Be, you gotta be like, man, you gonna get missing, and the energy is dense out there. Was
Yes.
for me,
Yes.
and bad things are happening. Like my cousin that I met up there, he ended up getting killed by some other brother fighting him over some white girl. Killed him, and she got
Wow.
off. He goes to jail. She just chilling.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, like you know what I mean. And it's not. I'm not trying to be racist or prejudiced by saying that the white girl is just a situation that happened,
Right.
and it lets
No,
you
I
know
got you.
that it's a real issue that goes on
Still
in the
today.
mind, like till today. And so many
Yes.
of our people are taking a blind eye to it, thinking that you included some type of way,
Right.
and you
right.
really not. You have to have a bond with the different race, because it's not just that. You got the Japanese and all that. The race do thing. Like when you go to these different countries, you do have to watch it.
Right.
But like places like Berlin, they have
Right.
places that tell you go to this place, you better have your shit together, because they're gonna come looking for it. They're gonna try to kill you or do what they're gonna do, torture you, have fun
Right.
with whatever they do, and because you're black, solely because
Right.
you're black. And the way they're kicking black people out in other countries, you see that shit. Like
Yes.
the way they be treating the women, beating them up, and it's like, damn, yeah, we see that shit going on here, but over there it'd be way more offensive.
Right.
And it's like,
Oh,
yo,
absolutely.
Well, it's covered, and it's something that we don't see because it's not being highlighted. It's still happening, but
Right.
it's covered, and so the only way is for us to educate our children.
Yep.
Without that, we are still far behind, and we cannot, try to reach a positive place just for us, because that's what I believe this is really about. This is about developing our culture for our people, because we're at a major deficit. And through, I think the unity of us, people will begin to take us seriously. I think because, well, it's twofold. There has been a major decision to keep us separate.
now,
Right.
now Mala has a book called
Yes, Criminal Target.
Criminal Target, and I haven't read the whole book yet. I'm a little bit like a quarter of the way
He's
through.
reading. He's
And,
reading.
and it's talking about like a similar situation, because he was living in that neighborhood
Yes.
out there, and these were white people that perpetrated this, and they had this like high tech stuff. They was controlling their power and directing it to their crib, and they had it
Yes.
rigged up. So they got to have some special stuff to be doing all of that.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that ain't no regular stuff you heard in the hood. Who got a device where you could just sit it outside and it's pulling, directing, energy stuff, like, they got some stuff though, with some type of
Yes.
technology out there, like this all different type of devices. We just have to
Right.
have the money to have them.
Well,
They
Right.
understand how it works.
the beauty of the book actually does chronicle American terrorism. We has spent many decades talking about terrorism outside of the U.S., but what we
Right.
have now in droves and droves
Yeah, right. Where we at?
is
You see
the
your face now.
terrorism right here in America. And many
Yes.
people, and this is not color coded, even though I'm African American, I just had a conversation with a Caucasian couple who were dealing with the very same things, the
Wow.
very same transgressions in use of their technology, in the idea of trying to wreck their lives, and the idea of trying to take everything they have. And this is no joke, because there are many people who have gone through this kind of heinous American attack. And so
Yep.
we have to really get to a place. One, the first order of business is to incite information. If we can disseminate information about this, then we can start to make other things happen.
Yeah,
Right.
like you see, they had the checkpoints today,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yep.
Like the checkpoint to me is like you see that stuff down south. You got one cop who pull like 13, 20 people over at once, but that's not normal here.
Nope.
Usually when they do that here is for a reason, maybe trying to find a robbery happened in the area, so they'll lock it down.
Right.
But just on a regular, and I was like, what, is this a new technique? Is they going to be doing this more often? Because to me, that's a form of entrapment.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like once you get there and you don't even know, and then you got to go through all of that. And I was like, yeah, have your stuff right, of
Right.
course. But it's like you're being tunneled off, like funneled off. You being forced to give up your license. You're being forced to
Right.
give up your identification. How do you
Yep.
know the person on the other side has good intent with your information? This is
Right.
the
Right.
with
Right.
everything that's going on that we have to worry about. How do you know just because you're a cop don't mean that you're gonna take my information? It's like, what is this for? What is it stop for? What is it check for? Was it an accident?
Right.
What happened? Or are you just random doing this? Like that feels like, man,
Yes.
I got you in the sink hole, and I can make up whatever I want to make up
Exactly.
over whatever. I could just. I'm trying to make some money.
And
So we
believe
gonna
me,
pull it, you know what
our
I'm saying?
president has given officers, and I can't say I'm definitely not against officers. I was married to an
Oh
officer.
yeah, check this out. Talk about that bill.
Yes, the Supreme Court has come up with a ruling that gives officers the right to shoot without asking questions, or ask them later. And in
Wow.
any precedents, they are allowed to do that. This has already come down by the Supreme Court. And this is the other thing, because, we've had Donald Trump put quite a few of his cronies, I got to say it, his cronies into these positions. And mind you, these positions are for a lifetime.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, unless we actually get into enforcing and requesting that this be revoked, no one should be in an office for a lifetime. The president is not even in the office for a lifetime. He
That's
has
right.
2 terms for 4 years each.
Right.
And God forbid we get Trump back. But
Oh, my
yes, indeed. But the reality here is that for our Supreme Court, these judges are appointed.
But don't you think it's crazy
and it's
that
lifetime.
don't you think it's crazy that you're in there for 4 years? You get to raise all type of hell and bow out.
Oh, yes.
And then the next administration got to deal with whatever you started.
Yes.
That's
yes.
like some fucked up shit. That's
Yes.
It's mind blowing. It's
That's- yo,
unbelievable.
Yo,
Right.
that's crazy. That's like we gotta look at it for what it is.
Mhm.
We all being played, man, to a
Right.
degree,
Right.
because it's about that money.
Mhm.
You know how can I become a millionaire without having to hurt nobody? How about that?
Mm.
Where's all this money coming from for the skyscraper? Now you could do stuff, and there people are doing things,
Right.
but we see it in increments, and we looking at the percentages.
Mhm.
It's 30 to 40, 90 million people, maybe 100 million black people, black and
Right.
brown people,
Right.
or more than that, because we got to look at United States. When you go to the Midwest, you start seeing less of us.
Oh,
and
yes.
we can't
Yes.
act like that ain't a reality.
Right.
There are some people that live in this country that have never seen black people in 2020,
Yeah.
and it's except for TV.
Right.
Yep.
Because of the neighborhood they grew up in, and they still there unless they traveled out. But because people had their old ways. You do have some hillbilly type people that just
Yes.
stay in their areas.
Yes.
You see
Yes.
it in the movies like Wrong Turn,
Yes.
Yup.
Chainsaw Massacre.
Yup.
Those type of towns exist.
Right.
Like while
Yes,
you
they
traveling,
do.
it's like, man, I'm gonna drive to California. I got a couple dollars. You Yeah, you got a nice
Yes,
car.
they
You
do.
fuck around and go on one of them wrong towns. They taking the car, everything. I
Yes.
mean, niggas would do that to you. Niggas
Right.
would do that to
Right.
you.
Right.
Yes,
But
you're
it's
right.
different when you go to a white area
Hmm.
and thinking that you're safe because of that. And they
Right.
gonna
Right.
get you worse because it's just like, yo, you need to know your terrain.
Hmm.
You know, GPS could save some lives, but I think GPS could set you up sometimes too.
Right. Like
You
anything. I
ever,
think like
you ever,
anything.
you ever, the shit ever took you to the hood before you punch something, man? You be like, hold up, why did I have to go through here when I could have just stayed on the highway? What the hell was that?
Right.
Right. Right.
Like,
Right.
I was like, yo, is there somebody controlling this shit? It's all game, man.
I
You
don't
know,
doubt it.
it's
And
all
Criminal
game.
Target spends the time really making you aware of how our technology, even though it is a wonderful advancement for us, it's supposed to make life easier, but it has also made us very unsafe in so many
Absolutely.
ways. I love the idea of Alexa, but I never get it, you know. And so, as long as we look at the reality of our lives and making our smartphones, our cars, our computer, anything that has a computer, anything with a chip, all of a sudden we're in trouble. And you know they're putting chips in us now.
That's what this
Yep.
movie. I was just watching this movie called The Feed. It's actually a series,
Hmm.
and they have the whole like internet thing, all of this stuff like in your brain. It's in your brain now,
Hmm. Hmm.
and it's like that holographic virtual reality type of thing,
Hmm.
you know. But
Right.
it's all in your eyes. But somebody started making people. 'Cause everybody in the world got it, and they
Wow.
started making people kill each other, act crazy, and all that stuff. And then
Right.
they had to exterminate certain people. So, and you know, this is what we're going to have those products.
Yes.
We go on virtual reality.
Right.
We going like literally catches in the matrix just with the video games alone.
Yes.
And I like the video games too, but
Right.
it's like, you know,
It's
they
not-
really. I'm talking about really being immersed in it. Like, you know,
Mhm.
virtual reality. You put the goggles on and
Right,
you're
your
in.
VR,
You
your
know what I'm
VR.
saying? You know, you in there and people are spending hours, like their whole life doing this, and some people getting paid.
Right.
Some people get paid doing that.
And
You
it's
see the
big
young
money.
kid that
It's
won like
big money.
$8 million for playing
Yes.
what was it, Call of Duty or something, or Fortnite? No, the kid won like I think it was $3 million.
Hmm.
He won $3 million for playing Fortnite. Then there's another one,
Hmm.
and they had these big tournaments, man. And I see like I kind of want to get into that.
Right.
We was talk about having like the video game tournaments here,
Right.
setting up
Yes.
some screens and stuff like that, and you know, get a couple consoles and stuff and let cats go in. Cause we gotta
Yeah.
build, man. We gotta build, keep stuff going on.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And this spot we got right here, I wanted to be a spot where my people come out. You know what I'm saying? We
Right.
can build that pipeline and start, you know, doing stuff on 33.
Yes.
You see more of our presence doing business and doing
Yes.
commerce. See, I'm on the commerce thing.
Right.
You know, we got to be the ones for the day to really put it down and show people, okay, this is how you could do a thing in
Right.
this area and be African American. And you know what I mean? You don't have to, you know, so much watch your back as how you who you associate with and the things that you do to raise funds.
Yes.
You know, and like we got friendlies. We do a lot of fundraisers at Friendly. We got a lot of things coming up soon. I'm about to do the band thing, man. You want to get down on something? Because I want to open that spot up, man. We can have that to after hours. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Right.
So I want
Yes,
to make
sir.
it a weekly thing. It's of course we got it for the kids. We could do plenty of things for the children.
Right.
Just right there, bring different musicians out and make it something. Film it, do whatever you got to do. But it's a nice space, and the opportunity to even work with the company like that is a good thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yes, sir.
I was supposed to, you know, start putting more advertising up in the thing because they help us out. They it's the different events they bringing out the fribbles and stuff like that, so we can put some stuff together. You know what I'm saying? And,
Yes,
you know,
sir.
They just, you know, at the end of the day, it's a nice venue, and we're gonna be putting some stuff together at Mastorians, man. I'm putting it
Right.
out there now, man. We got a grip on
Mhm.
that, and we're gonna be looking for some tours. You know, bring out a different vibe, and you know, as people always dear. The parking lot stay filled, fellas.
Yes.
Let's do something with it.
Yes.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
But I think our first order of business is to support each other, because we have many
Yep.
businesses in the Trenton area and surrounding boroughs that if we just spend the time, you know, generating proceeds into our own businesses, we can
Right.
make our own millionaires. And you know, so there's value in us banding together, you know, and I really do believe that that is why it has been such a battle for us
We're
to
gonna
be
have to
separate.
start the Black Wall Street back up.
Yes, absolutely.
Basically, something like that.
Absolutely.
But this time, you got so many different forms of currency, like you got the
Bitcoin.
bitcoins and
Bitcoin, yeah.
all the other different stuff.
Right.
There were people pimping that game, man.
Yes.
People coming off on that, man. Like, it's so much going on. Sometimes we gotta play catch up because the
Right.
future is here. You
Yes.
see, the new cars come out. We got the Teslas now. They drive themselves.
Yes.
And that's real. You see them on. I see cats on the highway. They just be laid back down.
That is
and the
super
car
scary.
still
I'm
going.
sorry. That is super
It is,
scary.
but it do it.
Yes.
I think that the just like some Demolition Man type thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
They bringing it out now. Everything is GPS off the satellite.
Right.
They let you know the satellites is out there to be doing all this stuff because it has
Right.
to have some type of visual to keep you hitting from hitting other cars.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we got a car that smart that can park itself. If like it could come pick you up, the car could be at home and you could give it coordinates and it come all the way to work and pick
And
you up.
pick you up.
You
That's
don't have
really
to
deep.
drive it. You get in the car and they take you back. You never drove it.
Right. That's
Everything
deep.
is they make it. A lot of cars are becoming autonomous,
Mhm.
and that takes away a lot of jobs. So we have to
Yes, it
find a
is.
way to create more jobs for our people and stuff to do. But I like to say partnerships because, man, me myself doing this, I don't want to. None of us really feel like we got to work for each other. We got. I mean, work for somebody. If you gotta like what you do. But if you're in some place where the people are being disrespectful,
Right.
why you gotta get your 8 hours in?
Right.
You gotta get out of there eventually.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Yes.
they could
Right.
create something,
Right.
a negative situation where you can't even collect unemployment or nothing like
But
that.
we have to learn that we need to spend more time creating the life we want for ourselves. When we go out into the industry and work for others, we're creating that
You
life
gotta
for
do that,
them.
like as you said, there's somebody contract you or something like that. Say you sell
Mhm.
books and you had to join, and
Right.
you sell a certain amount of books, or you might have rented a table. Yeah, stuff like that.
Right.
But I'm talking about, people got to do what they got to do to survive to raise their families. But
True.
we got so much disrespect, and then the threat of, like, especially a lot of mechanical jobs because they got these robots now.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they got these robots and they coming in doing like 20 people job.
Right.
And
Right.
people, and this is stuff we used to see in the movies.
Yes.
So now I feel like even with this, impeding all the rumors of war, stuff going down, they
Mhm.
shooting planes out the sky. There's a lot of stuff to look at. Like, you gotta watch. People think I don't want to panic. I just want to live my life. And we
Right.
understand that.
Right.
Yeah, live your life,
Right.
but you should still be aware of your surroundings at that time,
Definitely.
all
Yes,
times,
definitely.
Joe. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
for especially your health issues, man. Like, gotta do things in moderation. We can't be, doing too much of one thing, man, because that'll take your attention away off what's going on. You know what I mean? You got a ailment and stuff like that, and it's really a diet.
Right.
The stress. You gotta
Right.
deal with so much stress because of things going back to like people coming out with the experiences that happened back in Chambersburg days up until
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Because those people still feel different about life.
Right.
That we had to go through that. And then there's a lot of people that didn't just say no story. They just got beat up or something died. They came got their body. There's plenty that happened. They just got caught up. And there's few of us that want to keep their memory going on. You know what I'm saying? The unknowns, the John Does and stuff like that from back in these times. Because that's, and then I like to give you a shout out for calling in because that right there, imagine how many other people went through, like they showed up 20 deep.
Mhm.
They running
No
down there.
doubt.
What
I
about
know
the
I
people?
ain't. I know I ain't the only one.
What
but
about the people that didn't get away?
Right.
right?
Right.
What happened
Right.
to them?
It's crazy, man. I remember, and I don't know. I know you might have remember when they had got the guy, and they had jumped him, and then they had cut his tattoo off of him.
Wow.
I forgot his name. I
Wow.
think he either snitched or he did something where they cut his tattoo and beat him up real bad, man. So
Wow.
it's stories after stories, man. It's
Right.
crazy.
Right.
Yeah,
And
bro.
these are the
It's
things
crazy.
that people will not, still divulge. We still need people to be able to tell the story,
Yeah.
because how can
yeah.
we really incite change without knowledge? It really is not possible.
True indeed. True indeed.
Remember
So
the
it's-
time
Good.
remember the time when they had a riot in Trenton High.
Yes.
CJ got thrown out the second floor window when they got no tongue. My man walk around he used to walk around in the kung fu suit. This is mostly out West Trenton, but you might have remembered.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? I think he's still alive, man. You know, he's doing his thing, but you know, the brother got thrown out, and that was like a race thing. That was white against black blatantly. That's how it was. In Trenton High,
Yep.
they used to fight
Wow.
each other, man. It wasn't like everybody was getting along.
Right.
There was numerous fights in the classrooms. You know, you said the wrong thing. It's getting on right. Beep, beep, bop, 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 bop. Chairs flying, everything. On a daily basis for a long time.
Yep.
Right. Right.
And you see how black people fight each other. You know, the way it is now. Like, you know, over the past since the '90s, I say when we got there, you see a lot of neighborhood fights that involve other black people from other neighborhoods. Up until them times before that, you didn't see much of that unless it was like in town. That skirt right there with Storkies with the Storkies and St. Francis Hospital, you wasn't going past there.
No.
No, sir.
Let
No.
alone where Champions at.
Right.
And they wasn't. But here's the thing. I want to be clear on this. And they wasn't coming past there either.
Right.
Right. Yes.
Now,
Let's not
now what
forget
I
that.
will say is this: we have been ingrained with forgiveness. We have been ingrained with still
Tell
being
it.
able to treat people with respect, even though we're being treated
Disrespectfully.
wrong, man.
Yes.
And with black people, that's like a gift.
Right.
That we're able to still rise above, man. Look at all that we've been through and all that we've come through, and still able to push forward and be resilient about what we're trying to do. No, it's not perfect, but we are an amazing people. God has made us an amazing people to come
Yes.
through what we've been through, and
Yes,
to
great
still
adversity.
trying to push and make things better, man. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
it's crazy.
like you were saying, there was a lot of people out there that got cool with them, and they might have gave them some of the properties. You know what I'm saying? That's why we see
Yeah.
a lot of our people out there living now and been out there for a while. You know, because there's certain places that be on the bank, and I know for a fact that these cats wasn't living there back in the day because you just couldn't be back there.
Right.
There was no place there wasn't nothing like, oh, you had some special privilege or something. No, you just wasn't back there because
Right.
you would have known like who was this person, because we knew it was a lot of mob type of stuff, activities going on back there, and it was real tight knit. Like they didn't want you dating none of their daughters and nothing like that.
Right.
They didn't
No.
want their sons dating none of the black women.
Right.
They definitely didn't want that. It was a big thing about that. Like if they caught you together, like you know, your parents and grandparents would smack you up like, "What are you doing with this? But get out of here! Get your ass over here! We don't play that."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you gotta remember,
Mhm.
you know where we at now.
Right.
You know, and we think that it ain't like that, but it's like it's covered up. It's more smile in your
Like
face
we
with
said
it.
earlier.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Smile in your face with it now. It's still there, and a lot of, like I told about that tattoo place that was over there. No black people went back there when we went to high school. Nobody was getting a tattoo from them.
No.
No black people wasn't into tattoos. Tattoos didn't get popular until like what, 95, 96. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? People wasn't getting no tattoos, and those are the same people that didn't like. They didn't like niggas. So then it was a time, because you know they done burnt it up, moved somewhere else. You seen that, right? They
Right.
had a fire, but Dick made all that money. How you know all the time they been in there? Excuse me. And it's people that black people that they're doing jobs for, but they could have been poisoning your shit, giving you some cancer and shit. Now you can't
Yep.
even hold them liable for it because they're not at that same location. They gone somewhere else.
Right.
Yep.
You know what
That's
I'm
that
saying?
slow warfare, as they say.
These
Exactly.
are all examples of a lot of what we touched base on last week, which is the idea that, you know, people of color still are at a place where we want to assimilate. We just want to be loved. We just want to be accepted. And truthfully, I think that, you know, our first order of business is to collectively learn how to collaborate among each other.
Right.
And
Right.
then we can move from there. But to try to assimilate, that's not important. But we see a lot of it now, especially like we were talking about this in the very beginning in terms of media. And people today, and have always seemingly looked at media for the reasons, the explanation, the examples. And so when we look at media, we don't have a lot of, people in media that we can really see true reflection of ourselves. That's what's missing. And because of that, they don't have a genuine analysis of us, and neither do we. We want to assimilate, but it's obviously obvious that we cannot assimilate. That's not acceptable. It's not accepted, because if we can look at our media and see how much of us is really there, that will let us know that we can't assimilate.
We look good, man. We make everything look good. So it's gonna be that. It's really about taking ownership of it now. Being able to control you getting 100% of your royalties while it's being regurgitated on all these different shows and movies and stuff that come out and other people. Because I like the way it's set up, because you can make a good living off of it. But once you do these deals things, it's like they got a lifetime grip on your material.
Right.
Once you sign these deals, because they know they're making money of it, they done made so much money that you won't see, but it was your material. That's what's the ouch. Like the ouch part is seeing they got big old skyscrapers from the sales they got off your material, but you can't touch it.
Right.
Because of a contract you signed.
Right.
With the stipulations in there, and you might have got some upfront money, and it was good then, but in the long run, 20 years later, you ain't got your money, but your song's still popping right in front of your face, and you can't get a dime from it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That got to be like fucked up, bro.
Oh, it is. It's a terrible state to be in, because now I am the creation of something special, but I don't deserve the credit for what I've created.
I went to the Chiller Theater. I went to the Chiller Theater, right? And they had a lot of stars there, and they were like taking pictures. A lot of the pictures were like $60, $40, $10, whatever they were charging. But you had some of the stars that nobody was going to their table. It's like nobody remember who they are. And you got to imagine how that feel in that game when you get older, when you want to be recognized, and you trying to sell your merchandise in real life.
Right.
And people done forgot about you, and it's like that shit ain't nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We seen that, man, and that's a harsh reality, and it make you feel like, in your career, if you want to do the music thing, you don't want it to end up like that when you get older. You want to be able to prosper off of your stuff instead of the movie companies.
Right.
The movie companies pumping the shit out of people, man, and we working so hard to get a part of them, and don't realize once you sign that contract, you can't.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Yes.
You can't be who you be. Man, your apartment, man. My body trying to get a little bit underwater, so I got to tap my nose and everything. I need to go get me some tissue and stuff. That's what it's like. They probably like, look at me messing with his nose. He probably sniffing powder, and so you getting high. No.
But all of us, are looking at, the way the weather is. There's such a great change.
Yeah, it was warm
in what's
today,
happening.
Man. They try to kill us.
Yeah, no. Come on now.
But see, it'll be warm. It was warm. Like it's warm now.
Right now. It is.
It's warm now.
It is going to be. We're supposed to be, I think, in the 60s tomorrow. We're supposed to be close to the 70s on Sunday. Yeah. So
then it'll get cold again. Nighttime get cold right quick.
Yes, this is flu. This is flu and pneumonia weather, and you got to be very careful. But we're gonna go back and we're gonna talk just a bit about this whole idea of where African Americans fall in society. We do need to pave our own way, and we need to stop looking for others to pave our way.
Well, see, the thing is, that's the whole thing. How are we going to do that?
Yeah,
What's some of the blueprints you got for that? Like, because I always answer this question, and Jamal, this for you too, man. Name one black person who made $1 million solely off the black community without doing nothing illegal in the last 40 years.
Just off the black community?
Just off the alone, without nobody else.
I'm
not sure we can provide data for that.
I don't know if I can, bro. Even if because it's hard, because some of them ain't doing it illegal now, but the startup money might have been illegal.
I mean, I say that to say this, like Dolly Parton, as far as like record sales and stuff like that. Dolly Parton, if no black people bought her album, she would still be who she is.
Right. Right, of course.
You understand me?
True.
Yes.
But when it come to our artists, everybody has to have their hand in it for the artist to have some money.
Yep.
And
You
they're
know
not
what
gonna
I'm
have
saying?
that much. They're not gonna have that much.
And yep. And sometimes we get something, man, and we don't know how to. Sometimes we're not even taught how to, like you said earlier, sis, like to work together and take that money and figure out how to build from that, man. It's almost like I got mine, so
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
Now you
keep
get
going this
yours.
way, and hopefully
yeah,
you get yours, and
Right.
then
yeah,
maybe
Right.
we can.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just set up. It's just they had us behind the eight ball so long.
And
Right.
then
These
and you
these are
right.
these are like repercussions of that. Like you know
Yes.
what I mean?
And
It's just,
then you
Yes.
got people that try to rob you for your money too.
Yes.
So the
Come
little
on.
money do you have? Because we got a lot of them stories where cats buying like 10,000, 20,000, you know,
mhm.
and it turns into the man. I need that money right now. And they snake they man for that little bit of money, and they end up going to jail. Somebody else killed them or whatever.
Right.
Those stories are so common, and
Yep.
how to get through them is you have no choice but to sift through the
Right.
good and the bad.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even when your
Mhm.
family members, you got to watch who you do stuff with.
Yes.
I
Yes.
still learn that because I used to like to be open and talk about the station and the radio. Everybody don't want to hear that. Everybody don't care for this, and it's
Right.
a harsh reality outside of here. Like we got to be like, people have other agendas and stuff, and it ain't all about journalism and stuff like that.
Right.
Oh
Especially
no,
where we
it's definitely
from.
not.
You know, cause certain cats we know like real gangsters don't do publicity like that if you're active. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got to do that, and you can't really be, having a talk show or nothing like that. So we got to be like changing over a leaf or doing something positive to be doing this type of stuff.
Right.
And the way the streets is now, it's unforgiving, man. You got to have respect to keep this thing going on. The streets got to respect you too. You see what I'm saying? Because you see, like, people get talked about, then can you walk on any block in Trenton without somebody trying to rob you? That type of respect.
Wow.
Yeah.
You can show up at any block in Trenton, no matter who's there, what time of night it is,
Right.
no matter what a cat doing. Then you rolling on through.
Right.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right, no
Everybody
matter what,
can't
right.
do that. Everybody can't do that, bro. And I see that.
Nope.
There's some people that stay in a particular type of town, like places like Chambersburg. To this day, I've been in this area going back and forth for about 6 years now, and I mean, even over the years, there's certain streets that I just haven't been down.
Right.
There's certain places to where, like, damn, oh, you wonder what's back there, but ain't no reason to go back there.
Right.
And then it's times where I might be with somebody and they go back there and you don't know where you're at. You
Right.
be like, damn, oh, that's where the street come out to. That's what, damn,
Right.
what the hell? Oh, damn, I got
Yeah,
lost for
yeah.
a minute.
Yes.
I'm talking about back up in there going to a white city and all that. Them little blocks and stuff like that. Especially if you was walking and you a kid, you on your bike and you just rolling through.
You just said White City.
Yeah, because it's that part
Crazy.
too.
Oh yeah.
It's that part
oh,
too,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
farther beyond, because the farther you go out Hamilton, you see less and less black people. Even right now.
Yep.
They, out there where they used to, we used to do the King Solomon joints at,
Right.
that field right there, they had that. But you look at the houses, and those are pretty expensive, nice looking houses, man.
Right.
We got the money right here. We be going
Yes, sir.
all over places, man. The million billionaires is right here. We just got to tap into it.
I think also, unfortunately, for us to really see the kind of advancement that we want to see, we do have to create collaborative relationships outside of our culture.
Absolutely.
There's no way to do
Absolutely.
that because there are unspoken laws. There are unspoken agreements that will not be made without certain facial color. Let's be for real.
Right.
And if you can, do that, then you can begin to maneuver the waters and begin to receive what you're looking for. But I think
Yep.
that it's not going to happen if we just try to step in there and say, here we are, or here we is. It's not going to happen. It's just, I'm sorry, it really isn't. We just going to get looked at sideways like we're crazy. When we can be just, the best well-spoken, have the most fantastic
You
plan.
know what? I see people. You're right. People are doing their thing. It's just not talked about like we should see it. We see a Facebook post or something, but we tend to look for the negative more because it's so more exciting. And we
Of
do got
course.
a lot of black doctors and young kids doing their thing.
Right.
But it got to the point where we're looking for so much action, those things can become corny.
Mm-hmm.
And you overly go right past it, like, all right. You know, even when you have children and you go to the games, you so used to doing it, it's like, okay.
It's rote. It's
But
natural
really, you
movement
probably
now.
should be filming it and making it a big thing because it's the
Yes.
start of their career,
Right.
and you
Right.
they could be making their own league. Because I think eventually things gonna go to that. People are gonna do that. You got things like Rugger Park.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We
Yep.
had the games and stuff, and like a lot of different hoods around America got their basketball teams, and baseball teams, and football teams that
Right.
still get together and they put their jerseys on and they go out and get it in.
Right.
You know, and they bring the community together doing that type of stuff.
Right.
So, you know, I just like to see more of that, but it's time to, you know, sometimes you gotta reflect on what was to see what's now.
This is true.
You know what I'm saying?
This is true.
That's why the Chambersburg thing. I mean, that just became a thought because I posted on the Facebook, and I
Right.
put stuff up there to see what people think. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah, no
Right.
doubt.
Just to get a reaction, a buzz, sometime and build like a topic and stuff. So I said, because I didn't have in mind to do a show. I just said I'm gonna do it because I seen the response on the post. I said, well, maybe that'd be something worth talking about because it was so many experiences and a lot of like the groups like the mafiosos. You know, they was a skating crew at first, but they were
Right.
the ones that wear the shiny leather boots and stuff, and they all used to wear the same thing. It was
Right.
a crew.
Right.
But they was one of the ones known for having to fight them cats out there because it was like you had to build a protection team, but they was a skating crew too, and it just turned into that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like off of the Chambersburg thing though, because those people really didn't like you really had to go through stuff. It wasn't no cool smiling in your face stuff. It's like you back and forth in the street with it. He's across the street, you're on the other side. You could be going to school and he calling you a nigga, you calling him a cracker. All right, we fighting after in the school. You know, as soon as I
Right.
get to you or in the class,
Right.
whatever. And then his boy jumping in, he got a stick or bat or something like that. And these are stuff I've seen the ends of it come in 1990, like the end part of it, because it was the last 2 years. Like I said, 1992 was like when I started seeing more black people move out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, they driving their cars, they pass Roma Bank, they on
Right.
Anderson Street.
Yes.
Hey, Roma Bank.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Because they remember you couldn't go past that part. You passed that
Yes,
part,
sir.
man. Like they right there. Like they chilling
You
in the
set
parking
your own
lot.
risk.
It's at your own risk, and that's where they was coming down the block, the little bars and stuff. That was just for them. And I'm like, yo, you know, the other places that still like that, like, wow, it's 2020. What is it about us
Right.
that, you know, we gotta get beat? We just don't allow some place. I think that we got the history. We know who was here first. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And maybe this thing has turned into a pit of jealousy. Like, oh man, we got to deal with the original people. The original people, God's people, was enslaved. And now it's time to answer for that.
But you know how respect is earned, it is not just given.
Yes,
so,
it is.
you know, when we think about it on those terms, I think all of us want respect. You don't have to like me, and I don't have to like you, but we can respect
Right.
each other.
As a human being.
Yes,
That's right.
yes. And oftentimes you have to demand that. But
Man,
if I don't have respect in myself,
terrorists don't negotiate.
oh no, you're right. Terrorists don't negotiate. But then, are you saying that we become the terrorists? It's like we have to
Think
demand
about
that.
you seen Queen and Slim yet?
Oh yes, I saw Queen and Slim.
Jamal, you seen Queen and Slim yet?
Nah, man. You know what, bro?
Oh, man.
It was next on my list, man. Like I
You
keep,
gotta see
I
Queen
kept
and
getting
Slim.
distracted, but everybody kept saying you gotta
Yeah,
see.
you have to see Queen and Slim.
Now, off of that, take account that the shooting that happened in Jersey City with the black
Oh
woman
yes.
and they went straight to the Jewish place. That movie, you know, there was some talk about that. That movie alone could stir up that type of thing and make it like, you know, we just up and we're going to start
We're
busting.
gonna do some things.
We finding who our real enemy is, and we just go bust at them randomly, like, cause you doing so much to us,
right.
and fuck it, somebody got to take the fall, somebody got to bite the bullet, We're gonna get it started.
Right.
That's what it was
Right.
like. And this is one of the few places you could talk that we could talk like that.
Right.
Because everybody else want to shut you up.
Right.
Oh, you want to talk like that? You want to make it a race issue? No, but you can still talk about it the way it is instead of we ain't sugarcoating nothing.
Right.
We talk about like the real facts, how we see fit now, and it's not that people. It's not just our personal opinion.
Right.
It's the way laws is being passed.
Yeah.
Like it's
Right.
it's in going in one favor and stuff. Now
Yes.
we had these new laws where they fighting to not get vaccinated. Like they're trying to
Yes.
just completely disregard your religious beliefs,
Right.
and they want to come in, and they're to the point where they're coming to your
You're gonna do
doorstep
whatever
with
we
it.
tell you to do.
Yeah, like this whole control conspiracy thing, and,
Mhm.
and we still beefing amongst each other, shooting at each other,
Yep.
Right.
killing each other for different things. Family members beefing with each other,
Right.
saying the worst things that they can say to each other, but that is another agenda. They want body parts, body trafficking.
Right.
They get
Oh, yeah.
hundreds of
It's getting
thousands of
real.
dollars for you
Mhm.
to make money off of you. I just did a series with it. The guy who works in the hospital tells you like they're there just for that purpose to set you up so they can get your organs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and they'll ruse the family over, make you feel comfortable and all of that, and you won't even know what's going down.
Yeah. It's true.
You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, they will, in certain cases, in a lot of cases, probably induce something to cause the death, so they can get that part. So, because a billionaire, or something with that body part.
Mhm. Mhm.
Get that, and that's real, bro.
But the number of African American children, women that are just missing,
Yeah.
the numbers of bodies, okay, that have been buried
It's popular.
with missing organs, no organs. I
Right.
go back to the young boy in Valdosta, Georgia. Who actually, if you remember, I think it was Kendrick Johnson.
Mat, they found folded up in
Yeah,
the mat.
they wanted to claim he fell head first into a mat that was rolled up.
Right.
But the interesting thing about that, of course, all his clothes was missing and his organs were missing.
Yeah, and the Kanika Jenkins thing, that how that whole thing went down too.
Mhm.
That was crazy. They let you know that people they got your friends setting you up.
Right.
How much money was girl supposed to get for that?
Right.
Right.
But see, this is where when we were talking about the whole idea that we continuously fight against each other. We go back to
Yep.
history. I pull up the dozens because this is how we really began to turn against each other. We were taught the idea that this one is better than the other. Right? If two black men are on the auction block, one has muscles, white teeth,
Right.
and maybe 6'4", they're going to try to move this man first than the one that might be 5'4"
Right,
and not
right,
really
right.
have muscles and not too,
And there is a standard for beauty and masculinity in the industry.
Mhm.
There is like you go out, they have a certain way they want this man to be presented if they're
Right.
gonna put their money behind you.
Right. But the depth of what I'm talking about, though, Monk, has to do with the reality that because of this disparity in just even the
Right.
slave auction block, we
Right.
began to hate each other.
Yeah,
I
jealousy.
hate you
Man,
because
you
your
got that
skin is
deal, man.
lighter. You are more beautiful. They perceive you to be more accepted. And all of a sudden, we now are fighting against each other. We did not do that if we go back in our African history.
Right.
We did not do that. But
Nope.
now it's a learned behavior that we have continued to do from this century to the next century to the
Yup.
next century.
It's crazy how colorism is. I had a girlfriend one time, and she was like fair, light skinned, and she told me that she was just on the bus stop one day, and the dark skinned girl slashed her face up.
Wow.
Said all this. Oh, you light skinned, pretty, thick, you pretty, and all this
Right.
on some random shit.
Right.
On some random shit, like you know what I mean, and
Yes.
her peoples was there with her because they helped the good girl up. And I'm like, I remember her telling me this, and it's like those things happen.
Yes.
Colorism.
Yes.
Oh, you light skin, this dark skin, this white, this black thing, you're brown. You got Indians that just think they're not black.
Yes.
Oh, I'm no black. I'm no black.
Yes.
But you just because you got your hair straighter, you still darker than them. You know what I'm saying? The sun don't cook
Darker
you.
than me.
Yeah,
Yes.
the sun, you absorb the sun. It doesn't cook you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you got
Yes,
different
sir.
people, but you got black people that get cooked by the sun too. Like
Yes, indeed.
Yep.
I've seen that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's look more African, but the sun affects them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it gets deep that these nature things is coming back, and it does bring a certain type of segregation when we're talking about
Big time.
who are the original people on this planet.
Right.
Because everybody wants to play God.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to play God. That's why we got all
Yes,
the
they do.
devices, the surveillance the way it is,
Mm-hmm.
the system, the banking system, all that the way that's set it up with the money, and somebody wants to play God over everybody's life.
Right.
And you gotta like look. Now we are part of a culture that's breaking away from that. There's people being more independent, and I like the way it's going, but we had to be part of it because
Yeah, we gotta
I'm
catch
talking
up.
about it
gotta
is
seriously
we gotta
catch up.
catch up, and I see that
Yes.
as far as like having multiple warehouses, like 100 warehouses,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
100
Yep.
100 black people that got 100 warehouses,
Yeah, imagine.
Right.
and we can write their names down and say, okay,
Picture that.
this is a place to where we can send people to go get jobs. The kids, if they want to learn responsibility and stuff, they could go work for this company,
Right.
and it's good for them, and it helps them with their life, and they could get all the 401k plan at these places of employment with their own people.
Right. Right.
But what does
Right.
that do for the United States economy? It could cripple it
Mm-hmm.
because you got
Yep.
some other people that don't want to do the work, and
Right.
as
Yep.
we're
Don't
seeing,
do
they
none
don't
of
want
it.
to do the work.
Right.
Security jobs, labor jobs.
Mm-hmm.
How
Right.
many people? Come on, like they got that on lock. That's what the union is for. The
Right.
union is for to control who's going to be on what job, how much money is being taken, and what money going to who.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every project there's always some type of shim shams. You got somebody trying to scam off the top.
Right.
Always.
True.
If somebody's paying you like $40 million for to build a complex, or you might try to save off like 10, 12 million, or however much you could for your own pocket.
Mm-hmm.
How many honest business people you got? You see the work could get done, but some things would be like it ain't. We feel like we should be in the future. You know what I'm saying? We thought we was gonna see flying cars already, which they do have, but like out here already for like, man, you got it. You know what I mean? We back when we were kids, we thought it would be like this,
Right.
but we still dealing with a state of prejudice.
Right. I was gonna say we're not ready for that though. As a people, we're not ready.
No, you could say that as a well. You know what? You're right, but I think that some of the UFOs are black people, and we, that's a whole different thing.
It is. It
They
really
don't want to
is.
let you know. And I got
Yes.
I played a documentary before
Mhm.
where the guy was talking about the UFO had black people in it. It was
Mhm.
black people. He was talking like real black tar black people, and it were the aliens.
Mhm.
So those are different
Interesting.
things to get into. I mean, real is real. Because I'm not talking about nothing that's here, so this is like credited people that said this, and nobody came up against it and said you're a liar.
Right.
You ain't say that people see what they see.
Yes.
Yes, we have Photoshop stuff and all these CGI programs, but a lot of the
Well-
stuff are real because I done seen things myself. So I can't sit here and be like it ain't happened.
Mhm.
We have these
Right.
dismissive minds that act like it ain't happened.
Mhm.
Like you didn't see that little shadow at the corner of your eye. You just rest because you got used to it. You're like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? The little, you could be driving, you could be walking and stuff,
Right.
but your mind is so off of it. Like maybe it's a
Right.
natural defense, but you've seen something.
Mhm.
Something strange happened.
Right.
And we're so dismissive about it that because sometimes we don't want to accept it, and our life goes about, you just want your life to go the way you want it to go.
Right.
And this other thing, it could be like maybe something came in on the radio or your phone did something strange.
Mhm.
It's mostly with these phones when you're on the Facebook and you notice how you're scrolling and they have your name on a T-shirt. You see your name, Sanderson or something like that on the T-shirt. They did that with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You just scrolling. It's like,
Yeah.
well, damn, how you had that all done up already?
Right. Right.
You got designs, a logo, all that shit.
Yes, but it's no different than the monitoring that goes on, because you could be looking at something in Google, you're looking up something, the next thing you know is flashing across your
It's
Facebook,
flashing across your
and
face. That's
so
kind of scary sometimes, yo. It's just crazy.
yes, but this is the reality of the life in which we live. It's not just other people. The government has been doing this a long time. It's just now people has caught up, and all of a sudden, our safety is no longer safe.
Yeah.
Right.
It just isn't. It just really isn't.
We need to get together and come up with ideas, man. I'm like, people are people, but it's really a community thing. Even with the business, like how they out here they have like different lunches and stuff, so everybody get to know each other, which is cool. We're gonna be having some of that stuff at this office, invite everybody through. We're gonna be doing like shows and poetry shows out here, so this is like a thing that we could mix
Some
people and
networking.
people can network and
Yes.
get some business. If you're
Yes.
doing landscaping, you might be able to get some work.
Right.
And you can control your own contract or what the deal you as opposed to having to work for under. But now we need more bosses. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
We need more bosses, and it's like to the point where we have to cultivate that
Mm-hmm.
more self-sufficient. So and raise them to look out for their own. That's the hard part.
Mm-hmm.
Because when your own people do you dirty, you have to have an amount of love to want to do it anyway.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. Because I can get tired of you.
Yeah.
And I'll be turn to my Caucasian brother or sister, my Indian brother and sister, my Latino brother and sister.
Because they do, and it
my
could be because
German
they're
brother
doing
and
you right.
sister. Yes.
If you're doing
Yes.
the deal, they paying you straight money where you going thing with the other people and the money messed up.
Yes.
And it boils down to like you have to your word has to be bond. You have to
Yes.
Yes, it
abide by
has.
what you say, especially in the business agreement. Say if I'm
Right.
gonna say I'm gonna do this job for you, and it's half done, or time going past. It was time sensitive. It needed to be done by a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not done by a certain time, or if it wasn't done right, and it costs you more
Right.
to fix the problem.
Right.
Now you have to go through extra stuff. This is why we got small claims court and all that type of stuff.
Right.
And it seemed like all that stuff is set up for that, but you have to be able to afford to have the pitfalls. You need money aside just for that type of stuff.
But we can't have a lower expectation or a lower threshold of what we're willing to do for our own people, and
Right.
a higher expectation or a higher threshold of what we'll do for other cultures. It needs to
Yes.
be really on the same page.
Same
We need
level.
to level up seriously, because I have been.
And I
in
think we're being forced to
businesses.
be like that. I think this is all these series of things is kind of forcing us to do that. No matter how much we want to beef amongst each other,
Right.
every time you get on a book, you got somebody, fuck you niggas, and it bring the reality harsher. Like, damn, we really fighting each other while they hate us too openly,
Right.
showing and doing things to
Right.
you, public executions, and you seeing this stuff and they letting it fly.
Right.
But they'll put you in Facebook jail for saying certain things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And this like forum right here, man, this is one of the places where you could come put it down the way you seen it,
Yes.
the truth of how you see it, and nobody's gonna shut you up and say, hey, you can't say it like that.
Yes.
I want the details.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because after the night, people gonna see this repeat
Yes.
or play it in their own time, and they want to feel that. And this was a good one. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? A good look on
indeed.
Carl and man. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Because you became part of the show just like that. That's what I like. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I expected a few more people to call in, but this was a good one right here, man.
It's a
Yes,
move.
sir.
And
It's a
to
move.
talk about some real stuff. Go ahead.
Yes. I think you touched on it in the idea that we have such a disparity. We fight amongst each other. And
Yes.
until we can get to the solidarity of working together, and this is the whole plan. The plan is to keep us separated, because if we're separated, then we cannot progress truthfully. Everybody
Right.
else is progressing. We can see our Asian brothers and sisters, man, it'd be 10, 15, 20 deep in one apartment. And
Yep.
they are pulling their resources
Yeah,
together,
yeah.
and they are creating their own
true.
loans, and they're paying them back to each other because they're putting their resources together and they're making their own loans.
And you don't see them walking nowhere.
No, but the thing is that we cannot do that, and the amount of money that we have in our community says we can. So The problem is that we are not willing to work with each other. How do we get to a place where we're willing to accept each other for who we are and what we are, and if whether my skin is darker than yours or whether I'm making more money than you, we can still work
like
together.
I'm gonna say this, like the situations like that, why it would really need to be worked on. Like, say if a person was bullied, or you living in a community where people didn't give a fuck about you, you hit the lottery, got all this money, or however you got it, you know, inheritance or something like that, you end up with all this money.
Right.
Is that person, you know, they end up with $100 million or $90 million? Is that person obligated to do anything in the neighborhood where they was once shunned?
We
You know
are
what I'm saying?
all
And that's
obligated.
those type of things. I would just like,
Yes.
you know, because that's the real issue. Like, anybody can end up getting papered up for whatever reasons, lawsuits,
Right.
whatever, and it end up being a person where they might have been getting bullied.
Right.
They might have want to use their money to get back at the people who was bullying them and buy their houses from under them and sell them to somebody else. And I'm pretty sure over the years, especially in Trenton, New Jersey, where those situations are evident when it comes to property. You know, it's certain property that just is sitting there vacant because of somebody being selfish. You have to be part of this group or this group of people to even have the property, so they'll let it sit there
Right.
vacant for years.
Yes. We talked about
Yep,
this.
on purpose.
On
Yes.
purpose. And this
Yes.
is what we watch. Like, we see a lot of these houses, we think they vacant. Of course, people want to get them and fix them up, but it's always somebody that got a hold on it that just doing something else, and you got to go through all of that. Hopefully, we can see a lot of that change. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, we
Yes,
can,
sir.
there are
That's
things-
important.
There are things that we can do. We can really begin. I mean, petitions are powerful. Petitions are really
Very
powerful.
powerful.
And so we can begin to petition for all of these vacant properties that we're doing absolutely nothing with. They are rotting as they sit. We can open them up with a dissolved, absolved, totally disregarded bill. Whatever it is, whether it's taxes or whether, you know, a family member lost the property or don't care about the property, we can begin to transfer ownership to many of our people who are homeless. Don't need to be homeless because we got plenty of homes that are vacant and just sitting. Would I prefer for this place to just sit and
Ain't
rot?
that sick? They got all these homes and the people are still like homeless, man.
Right, and I can't see it. I can't see it on any level.
I think he hung
Why? No, I think he lost his signal.
Yeah.
We in no level should we allow those things to just happen the way they're happening, but we see it all the time. We got people like we just had the discussion about people living out in tents down here, right? Well, we've got plenty of properties that are empty.
I think, you know, that some people want to be like that because you got them renegades, military cats that just like, you know, they done everything they could. They might be the felon, can't work, can't do nothing, and just say, this is what I'm going to do.
But they
And
can't. They
everything's
also
right
cannot
here.
afford. You understand?
They might
I mean, there are many.
I seen one guy. I don't know how familiar, because you said you left Trenton for a minute.
Yeah.
There was the one guy that used to ride a bike, and he always used to have a big puffy coat on.
Okay.
One time we sitting on the bridge, like, you know what I mean? I should have put my dude out there, but yo, this cat had like thousands of dollars on it. More than the average person that walks around. More than the average person with a nice car that got actually in their bank account. He got it on him. And he sleeps under the bridge.
Right.
Trenton is different. Trenton is like the people that you think got money might have, and the people that, damn, this person either got it.
Right.
You know, it could be a
Right.
junkie. It costs a lot to get high.
Yes,
There's
it
people
does.
that smoke crack that keep thousands of dollars on them every day.
Right.
That are bringing the hustler $10,000 and $20,000 in a week's time, or, you know, daily whatever they got hooked up.
Right.
The streets is the streets,
Right.
and those people are valued more. You might walk out your crackhead, but if you mess with that crackhead, you might get bodied because that crackhead keeps other stuff running for other people. You know, and you don't even have an idea. And that's so you can't prejudge.
Right.
You
True.
know, Trenton,
True.
if you can survive in Trenton, you can survive everywhere. That's like a slogan for us.
Right.
You know,
Trenton makes.
Trenton makes the world ticks.
Yes.
Trenton makes the world ticks,
Yes.
and it'll make you look at all the fakes.
Yeah.
Man,
Yes.
I'll tell you,
Yes.
man, it's a wolf state, man. You got North, You man, we got some spots come here. You remember Jersey Drive?
Mm-hmm.
Them cats was really doing that for real. So, I mean, it's different from the rest of the country, and this is why sometimes it's to be revealed because we have a pride about that. I know I do.
Mm-hmm.
We got a pride about being from Jersey, especially when we go. You know, you should have to be proud for wherever you're from.
And Jersey gets a bad rep.
I mean,
Jersey gets a bad rep.
I mean, as far as taxes is high and all that type of stuff for like regular living, but
We're always
was
the
a
butt of
person-
everybody's jokes.
like if like being a musician or and dealing with MCs and stuff like that and singers, we get to see a different side. You know, that's aside from the regular working life, the regular stuff. You know, those people are street. They however they got their money. Some people might been able to sell a T-shirt or whatever and build the whole thing off of that.
Right.
But they blew up by so much.
Right.
You might see them at a flea market. Go to New York. You know, you got a lot of vendors.
Right.
Columbus, English Town,
Right.
stuff like that, and you got people selling their products, but they might not have a commercial, but they know that they're going to be there this time. They got a table and people buying their products. So we got to build that for ourselves. I think we do need more flea markets. Maybe we
We
can
really
do it
do,
here.
and we could.
Yeah, I think we could
bring
do
that
it.
back.
We're
We
gonna
definitely
try
could
to
bring
do
it
one here.
back. There's a lot of things that work for us, and I think we can't forget that those things work for us.
We could turn that tunnel into like a little thing
Yes.
right there. That tunnel right there.
Yep.
And they have some tables right there. At least the length for the windows, because that's you could probably get a couple tables, a few things going right there.
Right.
Because that is downstairs is
It's a doctor's office, isn't
doctor's
it?
office,
Yep.
physical therapy place. So I'm gonna consider that maybe they wouldn't want people right there, but it's a business thing. Maybe we
Right.
put a wall up. People gonna see people walking past because we
Right.
need the traffic.
Yes.
You know
Or
what I'm
do
saying?
do a
And
bazaar.
that's
We've
gonna
had
bring
plenty
them
of people
business
in
too.
this lot. I mean, when I came in tonight,
Yeah.
that lot was completely full.
Yeah, it's like that every night. Man. I
Yes.
mean, it's probably slowed down like some Saturdays or Sundays, but it's mostly nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the people that we're gonna bring to the Poetry Souls.
Right.
And you see, we got a little space here. Eventually, we make it to the point where it's open to the public. They can
Right.
walk in. We might have something where they paying, or something we can just walk in and come enjoy a show.
Right.
Because we can be the new staple for New Jersey, enjoy a tourist attraction. Hamilton Radio. We
Right.
already got people coming from all around the world to come here.
Right.
Be on the studio.
Right.
Even before we had this one,
Yes.
a lot of bands like tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow. It's gonna be crazy tomorrow, Sunday. Oh man. I know they're gonna have
Good.
some bands and stuff. We got Valerie Granberry coming through. We got what is it? We got a couple new people too.
There are there are
Sister
quite a
Talk
few
coming
new
through.
people. Yes.
So you know what I mean.
we got some new shows coming in.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like trying to put it together because y'all know how I talk. It'd be crazy. There's so many coming. I'm trying to figure out what we gonna do with them.
Right. We gonna put them on the books and give them their time, and it's gonna work in a favor. You're not number one for nothing, But in order to keep that spot, there are things we need to bring: fresh, innovative material, things that attract, various groups of people.
Yeah.
And I think we have the ideas to make that happen. We have those shows to make that happen.
Yeah, but we're gonna work on it, man. We're gonna wrap it up in a bit, cause I did it's we started at 11:10, so I took it to
We're on
12:10.
it. We're in the hour.
You know what I
We're in
mean?
2 hours now.
And yeah, we did the 2-hour thing. And it was a
Yes.
good show though.
Very
That was
good,
That
very
was
good.
good. My man called
Yes.
through and dropped it, to let you know how it really was, man. Like you get caught back there, man. You had to fight, man. It wasn't no bullshit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you just could not be back there, and and that's why I wish somebody else would have called in and said, well, this was my experience, and you were a black
Right,
person. Well, this
right.
didn't happen to me, but clearly
Mm-hmm.
you've had to been playing a sport, working for somebody, but you couldn't live out there
Right.
at that time. Even one of my cousins said that, and he's well involved in the
Right.
politics in this city and stuff. And you know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
And we gotta look at that. But hey, next week I got Word Life Records coming through. Tune in for that.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
that's gonna be an interesting show, man. They got some new material and they got videos, so we're gonna get into their
Great.
videos, man.
It
And
should be exciting.
we got a lot of good stuff going on here in Hamilton Radio. We trying to keep it rolling for y'all.
Yes.
And guess what? You got anything you want to say? You
I
got
just
the
want
book
to
for us?
just encourage everyone to come and be a part of the show, be our special guest by phone. If you have an interesting topic that you would love to be discussed, please feel free to send a note by messenger or by email into either myself or Monk. Will definitely take them. We're just looking for areas, I think, where we can accommodate, no matter what the topic may be, a time where we can share and we can really branch out and we can provide the avenue of coming together. So it's a wonderful thing. Stay at a place. Normally when I end my transmissions, it's very simple. It's love yourselves, love each other, and by all means, above everything, love the God that created you. We must start there, and when we go there, it is the best place for us to be. So, Monk, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity. I love how we work together. That's good.
This is what
That's
they call
good.
it probationary period, because she gonna
Yes.
be our own show.
Yes.
And y'all be watching her because she could talk, man. She's
Yes.
pretty good at what she do, man. She hop right in there, say what you got today, put it. I mean, I could dig it.
Yes.
Right on the statistics, she pulling it up.
Yes.
Proving them facts.
Yes.
Yo, we on right track, Jack.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Hey,
Yes,
we'll
indeed.
see you next week. Peace.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.